Hey guys. So last year I did a video called SD to BD, which is short for standard definition of Blu-ray, because myself and others were kind of surprised that such a thing like SD Blu-ray was around, was a thing. And the reason I was surprised amongst others was because for many years a lot of people, and myself and Zaranyzerak and others are kind of at fault with this as well, would come out and say that standard definition stuff couldn't be released on Blu-ray unless it was remastered. However, companies like Discotech and Warner Media and other independents like Shout Factory, or I guess Shout Factory as well, kind of proved us wrong, because Discotech made the news by announcing they would take the already released 8 DVD set of Samurai Pizza Cats, the complete series, and re-releasing it on Blu-ray by putting all 52 episodes, which were spread across all 8 DVDs, and basically putting them onto one Blu-ray and releasing the series like that. They also made the announcement that they were doing something similar with Sonic X and taking the 78 episodes and putting them basically onto 2 Blu-rays. 78 episodes as a complete series, a complete DVD series set would I guess be the equivalent of 9 to 10 discs in that manner. But what Shout Factory did instead is they said, look, let's just take the episodes, put them on 2 individual Blu-rays, and there you go. And I think the reason they made that decision, along with other companies making a similar decision, is because they basically felt that it was more cost efficient for them. They weren't using so many physical media discs to release and distribute a series. And this brought up a big question now from a lot of fans, including myself, is, and that question was, well, if Discotech could do this with these series, what's stopping Shout Factory or Warner Brothers or others of doing the same thing? Well, here's the thing that's different between Warner Brothers and others, and Disney's kind of in the same category. Both Warner and Disney have access to the original prints of the classic animated shorts, of the classic series, of the licensed libraries like Hanna-Barbera and Marvel. They have basically they basically have access to the original work prints and all that. So if they wanted to go and remaster them and put them out physically in high definition Blu-ray, they could do that because they have access to all the libraries. But and Warner Brothers, believe it or not, has done that. Warner Brothers has done that on a few occasions, but mostly what they've done at times as well is they'll just touch it up just a tiny bit and you just do what Discotech did and just dump them on the Blu-ray. That's it. I mean, you may not believe that, but it's true. Some of the Scooby-Doo releases they've done, they've kind of gone and fully remastered, but they've also just said, hey, let's just touch it up a bit and put it on Blu-ray. And that's what they did. And as far as Disney goes, Disney hasn't made any decision to do that, but if they wanted to, they could do the same thing. They could touch up, they could go out, like I said, and remaster a lot of the Disney afternoon shows and put them on Blu-ray, but instead all they would probably do is just touch them up a bit and then, like I say, take the page out of Discotech's playbook and dump them onto Blu-ray. Basically take the already established DVD releases and put them on Blu-ray. Now, with that said though, as I set this up here, now with that said, one question that a lot of people have is, well, if Discotech could do that, what's stopping Shout Factory? And nothing is stopping Shout Factory, because one thing I have to correct myself about when it comes to one of the popular Hasbro franchises that Shout Factory has the distributing rights to, that being Transformers. Last year I talked about the fact that Transformers would take maybe 3 discs, but in actuality it only needs 2 discs. It's kind of in the same veins as Sonic X. It would only take 2 discs to have all the episodes put on there from all 3.5 seasons, the short 4th season included, along with all the bonus features. And that would be it. That would basically be how Shout Factory, if they wanted to go that route, could release Generation 1 of Transformers on Blu-ray. They just follow the same pattern with Gem and G.I. Joe and Mask and G1 My Little Pony. All it would take is just 2 Blu-rays for each of those series to equal the massive amount of DVDs that they had to use to release the series originally as a complete DVD set. So yeah, could Shout Factory do it? Absolutely. But I think the reason they're not doing it is because they realize these are still selling very well, and there's a lot of other ways people can view these series, either through streaming sites like TubeIn, on-demand sites like Star Encore, or stuff like that. You know, sorry about that. Stars, Encore, and all that. They know there's other revenues, Netflix as well. So basically, knowing that there's all these other options, Shout Factory is not in any hurry. But if there was a demand to see these classic Hasbro series on Blu-ray, there's no doubt they would do it. And again, all they do is just take a page out of, Discotech's playbook and just take the already released DVDs, the master tapes they used, the master tapes that they put onto the DVDs, or master tape transfers, and just put them onto Blu-ray, just like Discotech did with Samurai Pizza Cats and Sonic X and several other shows. But now the biggest question is, okay, if that's possible, is it possible for 4K to go that route? Is it possible for Discotech and Shout Factory and others to go that route for 4K? And I would have to say, yeah, it is possible. It is possible if they want to take that next step. But here's the big deal. Not big deal, but here's the difference. The difference is it wouldn't take multiple, it wouldn't take 2 or 3 Blu-rays to, or 2 or 3 4K Blu-rays to release a series. No. What is the equivalent? Because basically, what's the the 2 Blu-ray release of, let's say, Transformers being equivalent to 14 DVDs would equal only 1 4K Ultra HD. That's right. G1 of Transformers, you would only need 1 4K Ultra HD to release the complete series. The same with Gem, G.I. Joe, Mask, you name it. It would only take 1 4K Ultra Blu-ray to do that. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, they could release, in Blu-ray if they wanted to, because most of its airing was in high def. But in some cases, hold on for a second. Like I was saying, if Shout Factory wanted to, they could release Friendship is Magic on Blu-ray because most of it, for the duration of its airing, was in high definition. And, they could do that. Even if they just, like I say, take the route that Discotech took with Samurai Pizza Cats and Sonic X, and what potentially Shout Factory could do with the original Generation 1 series from Hasbro, they could just take those DVD transfers or those master tape transfers they put on DVD and just dump them on the Blu-ray. And you potentially could be looking at something like a 5 Blu-ray set release, a 5 Blu-ray disc set release. The 5th disc, if you're wondering, would include the final episodes of the series, and the bonus features that could also be included on there could be a decade of Pony documentary, the 2 specials, Best Gift Ever and Rainbow Road Trip, and maybe, potentially a look at some of the conventions, like BabsCon and BronyCon. They could potentially show those. But if they wanted to take it a step further and go the 4K route, then like I said, you take a look at the equivalent of 2 Blu-ray discs equaling 14 DVD discs for Transformers Generation 1, then you'd be looking at potentially 2 4K discs for all of Friendship is Magic, including the bonus features that I've mentioned. So yeah, could studios release a lot of standard definition on 4K Ultra Blu-ray just as they've been doing with regular Blu-ray? Absolutely. But just like regular Blu-ray, is more cost efficient and to release, a lot of these classic shows on, because all you have to do is just dump the DVD transfer, master tape transfers onto there. The same thing for 4K. 4K would be just as cost efficient because it'd be less disk space. Like I said, the equivalent of two Blu-rays, two Blu-ray discs equaling 14 DVDs for Transformers Generation 1, when it comes to 4K, would be the equivalent of just one 4K. When it comes to Friendship is Magic, the equivalent of maybe 5 Blu-rays, potentially 5 Blu-rays, could equal to about 2 4K Ultra discs. That's it. So yeah, it's possible, but a majority of all these kind of shows, all these animated shows, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and even late 2000s, and even early 2010s, and even to up to mid 2010s, or whatever you want to call them, basically could be released, on standard definition. Could, from a standard definition perspective, I'm trying to say, could be released on 4K. They could be. Not saying they will, or not saying it would happen, or they will be released, but they could be. If it's possible for like companies like Discotek and Warner Brothers and Disney and all of them to take that step, and and just put standard definition stuff on Blu-ray by just taking the already released DVD transfers and dumping them on there, maybe with a touch up here and there, then if that's possible, then going the next step and going 4K Ultra Blu-ray is possible as well. Because because the main reason that a lot of companies are going the SD-BD route is Blu-ray has more capacity, more space. So when you look at 4K Ultra Blu-ray, you'll see that it has maybe double the space as a regular Blu-ray. So you have more opportunity to add more content, if you will, to that disc. So yeah, if you ever dream, even wonder how many discs it would take for, let's say, Transformers Generation 1 to be released on 4K on Blu-ray, it would only take 2. 4K Ultra Blu-ray, take 1. Now you might say, well, what about shows like Sonic X and all them? Well, not Sonic X, but Sonic Sat-AM and Sonic Underground. Well, Sonic Sat-AM and Sonic Underground, Sat-AM will only take 1 Blu-ray disc, and that includes all the bonus features. Sonic Underground would take 2. Well, actually take 1, potentially, just take 1 as well. So Sonic Underground and Sonic Sat-AM would only need 1. Something like I said, say Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the syndicated show, would probably take 2, or most likely take 2. But if you were to say, well, what if you put some of those shows on 4K Ultra Blu-ray? Well, then you know what? You know that Sonic Megamix I showed you in a previous video? That Sonic Megamix DVD that was released by DHX and Encircle Entertainment? Think of that. Think of that being re-released under the name the Sonic Ultra Megamix. Because essentially, if you wanted to release any of those shows on 4K Ultra Blu-ray, then you'd be able to release all those shows on 4K Ultra Blu-ray, and it would take only 1. That's right, 1 disc at least. Maybe 2 at most, but most likely 1 4K Ultra Blu-ray to release all of those 90s Sonic shows that came out from Sat-AM, Adventures, and Underground. And that includes all the bonus features too. So yeah, is it possible for whoever owns the distributing rights, which I think is DHX and Encircle and Mad Visual right now? Then yeah, it is possible. Like I said, from a Blu-ray perspective, for Underground and Sat-AM, it takes 1. For Adventures, it takes 2. But for 4K, you just take all the episodes from all the series and put them onto that 4K Ultra Blu-ray with 4K Ultra Blu-ray, and there you go. Essentially, you have all 3 90s series of Sonic the Hedgehog on 1 disc when it comes to 4K. So, so is it possible? Absolutely. Can it be done? Absolutely. Will it be done? We don't know. But if the door has been opened by all these other companies to go down this route of SD-BD, standard definition Blu-ray, Like I was saying, could it be done? Absolutely. Will it be done? We don't know. It's up to the people that do the distributing. But as I was saying, if, you know, going in this direction of putting standard definition programming, animated, sometimes live action onto Blu-ray, basically taking the DVD transfers and dumping them on there, or the master tape transfers and dumping them on there, if that's possible, then I don't see any problem of 4K being the next step they would take. But we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, it's an interesting scenario, an interesting time when it comes to, Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K Ultra Blu-ray collecting, especially when it comes to complete series, because now you don't just have the standard definition DVD requirements, or option, I should say, to get a complete series on. Now you have the Blu-ray option as well, especially for standard definition. And there's a possibility that the next step into 4K is wide open. It just is up to people like Discotech and, Shout Factory and Warner Media and all of them to want to take that step if they want to. But anyway, I just thought I'd come on here, do this bit of an update video about a year later, a 4K update, if you will, on the topic of SD to Blu-ray and possibly SD to 4K or something like that, or SD 4K as they would call it. But let me know what you guys' thoughts are. What do you think on those possibilities? Zaranyzerak, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Again, guys, just let me know what you all think. And thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Comment down below. Stay safe. God bless. And I'm out.